Sure, Wrigley Field didn't have lights until 1988, but when it opened in 1914, it didn't have an upper deck, ivy-covered walls, or its famous marquee at Clark and Addison Streets. The Cubs weren't even the first team to call the park home. The park was built in 1914 for the Chicago Federals. The stadium, known at the time by several names, including Weigman Park, was built in less than 7 weeks for $250,000. It had a single deck of seats that held 14,000 people. The Cubs moved to the park in 1916 after the Federals League folded. After the 1922 season, the stadium, then known as Cubs Park, was expanded. Crews put rollers under the seats behind home plate and along the left field line and moved the grandstands out toward the streets, making room for more seats. The playing field was moved about 60 feet southwest. The stadium's name was changed to Wrigley Field in December 1926. That year, crews began building the upper deck. The project was completed 2 years later. During the early 1930s, the Cubs added the now famous marquee at Clark and Addison. At first, the sign was unpainted green porcelain. Many of Wrigley's most famous characteristics took shape in 1937 and 38. The outfield bleachers were built from foul pole to foul pole. The hand-operated scoreboard, still in use today, was built atop the center field bleachers. And crews planted the ivy that graces the outfield's brick wall. In 1960, the Cubs painted the marquee sign red. In 1988, the Cubs became the last Major League team to install lights. On August 8th, they played their first night game, which was cut short by rain. In 2010, a Toyota sign was added behind the left field bleachers. And in 2012, a patio deck was built in the right field bleachers atop an LED board that displays game information and advertisements. In April, the Cubs released detailed renderings of their renovation plans for Wrigley Field, including a 6,000 square foot video board in left field, smaller LED boards in the outfield, and a hotel and office building just west of the park.